Good morning, friends. Good morning. Howdy. How are you all doing? My name is August. This is Cozy Rosie Reads. And this is the start of another weekly reading vlog. Woo woo! We got a cattail cameo. So it is Saturday. It is close to 10 a.m. now. And I have a very fun day planned for myself because my partner is out of town. I have the whole apartment to myself. I have a whole day to myself with no weddings, no photo shoots. My last full weekend until like November, both Saturday and Sunday, nothing. I'm so happy about it. I'm going to cherish it. I'm going to relish it. It is like 90 degrees today, so I'm going to take my sorry little pasty white butt to the beach. I'm going to the beach. But I thought while I was there, I'm going to read as much as I humanly can of The Pisces by Melissa Broder because this is a beach treat read, okay? I started this a few days ago. I'm absolutely loving it. I am not making as much progress as I would like. The story of the month of August, quite honestly. But I am on page only 37 and I'm freaking devouring this book. Like not in like I'm devouring it by turning a bunch of pages because I'm obviously hardly into it. I freaking love it. I am loving this book so much, so much. So I hope it does not disappoint me, but like, oh, I just have a lot to talk about with it already. So we are following this 38-year-old woman named Lucy, and it opens up with her talking about how she went through this horrendous breakup with her boyfriend of 8 years. She didn't think she wanted commitment, but she did. So this book is bouncing between her current life, where she is staying with her half-sister in California. She's staying at their house and dog sitting while they're away. And she has kind of left her old world behind, but she's still reeling from this breakup. And then we're bouncing to what actually happened in this relationship, bouncing to the relationship itself, the interactions they've had, her past life, what she was doing when she was living in Phoenix, all of these things. And she is definitely going through it. She's going through it. She is a little bit manic. She's definitely kind of spiraling into some not so great behavior, and she's making a lot of decisions that while in the present moment she feels is the right thing to do to ease her pain, it ends up biting her in the butt later, and it ends up being pretty catastrophic for her. So we're kind of watching her fumble through these decisions, fumble through this breakup, really reeling from it, trying to find solace in any little thing that she can. And take her mind off of the relationship. But as some of you may know, or if you don't, this book is supposed to be very erotic, smexy and smutty and steamy, because Lucy ends up having a sexual romance and love affair with like a merman, like part man, part fish. I'm excited for it. I am very intrigued. And it'll be interesting to read this after reading Call Me By Your Name, which was yet again another smutty, sexy book, which is again not really a topic that I read about or that I feel attracted to or that I even really encounter in the books that I read. I rarely find smut scenes in the books that I read. So we're just getting steamy in the month of August, okay? So I'm really excited to take this to the beach with me. I want to get one last summer hoorah and just lay out by myself on a beach by a lake. If it gets too hot, I can dip in for a swim and like just actually enjoy summer leisure. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you're all doing really, really well. I appreciate you so much, almost 2,000 of you. My mind is blown. I cannot thank you all enough for the support and the love and the comments. And one other thing I did want to mention is that I read all of your comments. I am just really, really crap at responding. And I totally blame that on my social anxiety because I read all of them and I read them out loud to my partner and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at what so-and-so said. And like, I literally verbally gush at your comments, but responding is so hard for me. So please, if you've noticed that I don't respond, it is nothing personal. I get really overwhelmed with commenting back. Like if we were face to face or on a call, I would probably cry if you said these comments to my face. I would legitimately cry. They're so sweet. I just know I need to get better at like actually responding to comments because they seriously do make my day. Like you all are so freaking kind. It hurts my heart I feel so much joy and like actual like love, glowy warmth from you all. Your comments absolutely mean the world to me. I just need to get over the social anxiety of responding. So I hope no one takes it personally. I hope that you all know like how genuinely like heartfelt and sweet it is. Like I cannot express like what? Okay, I'm gonna stop gushing, but please just know that like I have to like write it down in my to-do list to like do it, but then I chicken out at the end of every day to just like respond to YouTube comments. So typically I do them in bulk because I get overwhelmed with all the love and reading them all over again. Social anxiety sucks, especially on the internet. Like what the heck, I'm not even in person, but there's still social anxiety. Just know that I care about you all so much, and these comments really, really do make my day. So let's cut to some montages of going to the freaking beach. We're gonna do it. Social anxiety cannot keep me down. I'm gonna go solo to the beach. It's gonna happen. Cheers, friends. I appreciate you so much. Hi friends, I'm so blissed out right now. I'm so glad I came here. I'm so happy. It is about like 1:30 now, so I've been here for like an hour and a half. I am going to lay out. I just went for a little dip. I'm probably gonna go for one more dip because since it's a really, really small lake, it's just so warm and it's so delicious. And look at that beautiful sky. Is this even real? I needed this. I feel so content here. I've been reading so much and so fast. I am now 102 pages into the Pisces. Freaking loving it. It's really easy to read. It is so funny and sad and very, very raunchy, but it doesn't feel as like steamy. Like this is just forthright, just like very raunchy, like using anatomical names for parts, that kind of stuff. So it's not sensual. It's not sensual yet. Right now it's just our main character Lucy is hooking up with a bunch of random guys to kind of like get over Jamie, but she still feels like she needs some male validation in her life. She's in this group therapy that's all about codependency and needing romantic relationships to validate them as a person. So the groups are really, really funny. The writing style is so funny. I feel like I'm seeing everything in a movie. I love that things are written in first person. Like I just feel really connected to Lucy, even though she's making a lot of really not healthy decisions. I don't know, I just really care for her. I feel kind of like I can relate a little bit to her. Everything is just so freaking funny though. It's such a funny book, and I'm really curious to see when we get into the sensual merman bits, because we've already met the merman, but she does not know he's a merman. So I'm curious, friends, but I'm really, really loving this book. I like the modern woman take. It's funny, it's relatable. I'm just really enjoying it. My words are sucking right now, but I'm so blissed out. I'm gonna get really, really hot again from the sun, see how much more heat I can take, and then go in for one more swim, and then I need to go home and make some lunch because I am really, really hungry, but this is just such a great day. So yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna read some more. I'm not sure how much more. The chapters are also really short too, which I really love. A lot of dialogue, a lot of goodness. I'll probably lay at home and read more of this because I'm just enjoying it that much. I don't feel like I'm forcing myself to read. I'm just enjoying it that much. I really needed this. The past few months have been hard with 5 stars. I feel like I've only read one 5-star book in the past, since the start of the summer. So this is definitely on its way to becoming a 5-star read for me. So I'm gonna get back into it. Good morrow, sweet friends. It is Sunday, but I keep thinking, my brain keeps telling me that it's Monday, so that's just a pleasant surprise. So it is Sunday morning. Yesterday was so freaking lovely and needed, and I feel so restored. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I was at the beach, went in for a swim, but solo beach trip was a huge success. I am so happy. I felt so incredibly sleepy after my beach trip, so I just kind of relaxed at home for a little bit afterwards. I was there for a few hours, and then I hung out at home, and then I went over to my parents' house, and my dad and I went for a walk down to the local park, and we sat by the lake, and we brought our books, and we read for a little bit, and then we walked back, and then we had some snacks, and then we watched a movie, and it was just so nice. Like, it just felt like a really good summer day. Like, it felt like when you're a teenager or a kid and summer days just feel endless. Let's talk about some books, because yesterday I was able to get almost halfway through the Pisces. I wanted to mention something else too that's completely random, something that I do with my books. If I read a book on vacation or somewhere outside of my house, somewhere that is different, I actually write where I read it on the inside flap. Because for me, books are associated with memories of where I read it, when I read it. They're very connected in my brain. So for this one, I'm definitely gonna write that I was reading most of it on the beach. I just find that to be like just so delicious and wonderful and good memories. And yeah, so if you plan on like keeping your books after reading them, or just want to include like something fun, and even if you donate it, it's like a cool thing for the next reader, I highly recommend doing that. I've been doing that since I was like 14 or 15, but I only really write it when I'm somewhere else because, you know, sometimes your house feels a little boring. Anyway, that's a little digression, but freaking loving this book. I love this book. Winston is on a new level. He has the zoomies right now, so if you hear him screaming in the background and running around, that's him. I'm absolutely loving this book. I love this book. All I want to do is carve out time to read this book, and that feeling hasn't happened to me in such a long time, it feels like, but I absolutely want to prioritize this. It's so good. At this point in the book, Lucy is still attending her codependency group that she's a part of, and she is starting to kind of befriend the people in the group. She is starting to make some better decisions, but it's mainly because she's starting to feel more comfortable with herself and maybe being a little bit more alone. But really it's because she's so attracted to this merman named Theo that she meets at the beach almost every night. And this relationship just brings so much like inner peace for her. And she can't quite put her finger on like why, because they haven't even met outside of the water. They have never met in daytime. It's just this weird kind of like nighttime rendezvous that they have. She does not know that he's a merman yet, but we know because it is told on the back. So I'm not spoiling anything, but she's starting to feel a little like superior to everyone in her group. She is starting to feel this like inner peace with herself. She's starting to, yeah, it's just so interesting. And I love the writing style. Like, we are just in her head. I love the first person perspective. I love how funny it is. I love how easy it is to read. I don't know, like, this is just really working for me personally. It's really working. It is like scratching all of my itches with like magical realism, modern day femininity, female friendships and relationships, art history. She's also a librarian, so I freaking love that vibe. Like, she's very intellectual and highly educated, but at the same time, she's also this like fumbling 38-year-old woman who has no, like, she's just very wayward. And I personally really love wayward characters. So it's hitting all the marks for me. There is one part in this book that I would love to read out loud to you because it really struck a chord with me personally. What I think is important, and maybe isn't talked a whole lot about on BookTube, at least I personally haven't seen a whole lot of people talk about this, is like why certain books work for us as readers on like a very personal, emotional level. Because writing is art, and art is subjective, and most of the time when we view art or experience art or read art or listen to it, we are putting our own past experiences and emotions into it. That's why it's so subjective. Like, a book might work for me because I can personally relate to a section or a character, but you all might never know why, and then you might read this and be like, this did not work for me at all. So I wanted to read out loud a little section and then give you all a little synopsis as to like why it personally works for me and why I said yesterday I felt really connected to Lucy as a character. I think that's something that's really important. I mean, we don't have to like share all of our deep, dark, hidden fears and desires on YouTube, but I think it is something that should be talked about a little bit more as to like the really hardcore, why does this work for me, you know? Am I making sense? So to set the scene, Lucy is currently in a lingerie shop buying lingerie that she was instructed to wear by a guy that she met on Tinder. And so she's in the shop with one of the women from her codependency group, as well as the lingerie shop owner or manager, and she is absolutely loving how these two women are like fawning over her and taking care of her and, you know, oohing and awing her and like just building up her self-confidence and making her feel so seen, making her feel so accommodated. So she's talking about that. At the same time, Lucy also has been working on her thesis for quite a few years, and that's what she's grappling with at the beginning of this book, is that she is going to get kicked out of like her residency unless she completes her thesis, and she has yet to do it. And her thesis is all about Sappho, which I know little to nothing about. I only know what's been given to us in this book. So her whole thesis was about Sappho and kind of like divine femininity and what we know of Sappho from what we can gather. I'm going to read you this little selection that's kind of setting the stage so you know the context. So it reads, "It was in my love for Sappho, the divine feminine. I craved that nurturing, to be swallowed up in the arms of Aphrodite herself, rocked and held, but I was afraid to ask women for it, afraid they would die on me or reject me in some other way. So I looked for it in men who could not give it." That little section hit me so much. And I guess for further context too, Lucy's mother passed away when she was 11 years old. So that's why she references to not feeling like she can ask women for nurturing because she's afraid that they will pass away. That line in specific and what Lucy experiences while like being in this like female divine feminine moment of being in this lingerie shop, I can 1,000% relate to that feeling of like just wanting to be nurtured and cared for in female friendships, specifically feminine energy. There is something like a deep core desire in me personally. It's been there for so long. I have always just wanted that deeply emotional connection with female friendships. And it's something that brings me a lot of comfort to think about, but I feel like in my own personal life, it's not something that has ever really felt like it's happened super organically. Like the feminine female friendships, I don't know if that makes sense, like that emotional platonic affection and nurturing. And when she said like being swallowed up by the arms of Aphrodite, it is this like pink, glowing, divine feminine energy that you feel. And that's why like I rewatch Sex and the City every single year, because I love the female friendships. I'm currently rewatching the show Girls for like the 6th or 7th or 8th time right now, because I love female friendships. No matter how dynamic and difficult they are, like just long-lasting female friendships like that, where they are just there for each other and support each other and love each other, but then do like mundane, feminine, quote unquote, things with each other, like going shopping or like being there for each other after a breakup, or just like lounging around and eating ice cream. Like that is a deep core desire in me. So I just really wanted to share that with you all so you understand like why this works for me, but also trying not to get super soppy on you all as to like, you know, my own personal deep core desires. That is why this book is working for me. I feel connected to Lucy quite a lot in that feeling of wanting emotional, strong female friendships and bonds that you can rely on. But when that need is not met, you're looking for external validation in kind of other ways, when all you really want is somebody to like just nurture you. Again, that visual of like Aphrodite holding her, rocking her, like just this powerful external love. Like that's not like a physical thing. That is a feeling. That's an emotion that I personally want to experience all the time. So that's why this book is working for me. I find it so beautiful. It is just packed with like beautiful writing like that, but also just very modern. Like she's on Tinder, she's walking her dog, she's cooking dinner, she is going to the beach, she's going to group therapy, she's interacting with all these quirky characters, and she like picks out their flaws all the time and like judges them. Everything that I want in a book is in here, and then throw on the magical realism. And then just like the very openness of sexuality as well. Like this just does not hide sexuality at all. This just does not hide human anatomy with the actual anatomical names, and it's not romanticized at all. Like, it's just like, this is a very human experience, and this is just what's happening, especially in like current hookup culture on Tinder and stuff. So I'm hoping I can either finish this today or tomorrow. I would absolutely love that. I'm not far, but I'm not sure what the day will bring. I do have a lot of things that I need to do today, which is great. You know, gotta get some stuff done, gotta still work. I'll check in with you all a little bit later. Good morning, friends. It has been so many days since I've updated you. I'm trying to remember even the last time I talked to you. But since my partner got home from his boys' weekend getaway trip, we've just been spending a lot of time together, which has been really, really nice and lovely. But now it's kind of like back to reality of he is at work. I have so many things to do. I have a lot to update you on. First off is I've hardly gotten any footage of like when I'm out and about, but on Sunday I did go to breakfast with my dad. It was really nice. We got to spend more quality time together. And then my sister took me to Five frickin' Below. I don't know if Five Belows are a US thing, if they're also in Canada. I have no idea. I have not been to one since like the year 2007. I lost my mind. $5 racks up really, really easily. So I did end up leaving with a lot of things, but then I went to return them the next day. But then my partner came with me, and then we got matching PJ bottoms and matching shorts. I got this freaking tank top there, which I love. We love the high cut. I'm also wearing, let me give you a little fashion show very quickly. I also got these freaking shorts. These were five buckaroos, friends. $5, actual pockets. Maybe because they were made for men. So safe to say I absolutely lost my mind in Five Below. They actually have really, really cute home decor stuff. I got a brand new rug for $5 and it's pink and white and it's so cute in my kitchen. Let's do a little mini Five Below haul because I did end up getting mass majority like clothes, but I also got some cute earrings. But then the home decor stuff like really was the win for me. I was like, what? I had no idea they had such freaking cute home decor stuff. So I did include this in one of my little montages, but I did get this freaking moonlight. You can't even tell in this, oh, I have it backwards. That would be helpful. It glows so nicely at night. Like, it is the perfect freaking nightlight. Like, I can sleep with this on in my bedroom and it doesn't like hurt my eyes. And, you know, normally I like complete darkness, but this is so fun. As we all know, I'm a frugal old lady. A little bit of a story time for you all, so you can understand like the significance of this for me. My sophomore year of high school, so I was in the orchestra. I was a cellist. Hello, fellow cellists. If anyone else played the cello, loved the cello, absolutely loved it. I played it for many, many years. We got to tour like Carnegie Hall and all of these like really cool places. But for that, we got to go to like Times Square in New York City, and my friends and I went to all the like knockoff fake purse stores and fake perfume places. And when I went into the fake perfume place, they had this scent that was the most ravishing perfume I've ever smelled in my entire life. I was like, oh my god, this smells like how I want my personality to smell, like how I want my body to smell all the time. Only for me to find out it was a knockoff version of Britney Spears's perfume. So if you know that smell, it is so good. So when I went to Five Below, I was like, ooh, they have perfume here. Let me just do a little sniff. This one smells exactly like my sophomore year of high school. This is my sophomore year of high school. This is Dahlia Le Fleur, and it has these cute little like knockoff, kind of like Daisy by Marc Jacobs, little flowers. And it smells, oh my god, it just like sends me back to my sophomore year of high school in Times Square. Frick. I love the power of smells like this. Oh my god. It's so delicious. Oh Lord. So I was geeking out, and then you add the like pheromones of perfume on there too, and I was like losing my mind. I'm sorry, that was kind of like an unnecessarily long story time, but I feel like I'm not the only one who attributes smells to memories. Like, it's very, very sensory. Like, you're just immediately in that other place. So another wonderful thing that I got, I can't believe I found this. I found the mug of my dreams. So for years, every time I go to Goodwill, I try and find like my mug. I try to find my mug. This one is as close as I've ever found it, and I got it at Five Below. Oh my God. The pressed flowers. Oh my God. And then it has this beautiful like green inside. I'm not a fan of this like chuggy kind of writing, the grow. I'm not a fan of that. But everything else is so pretty, so I got that as well. I don't know, I'm probably forgetting so many things. Got some cute pearl earrings, just so many things, and like I kind of just lost my mind a little bit, so it was very successful though. I highly recommend going to Five Below, especially if you're like moving to a new apartment, or if you don't want to spend a lot of money like going to Target on nice things to kind of like slightly freshen up your living space. Definitely check out Five Below. And then go to Dollar Tree, because Dollar Tree is still my number one. Anyway, I am rambling this morning. Yeah, it's Tuesday, and I'm still not freaking done with the Pisces. I am loving this. It's starting to get a little cringe for me with the sex scenes, because they are very intimate, very raw. They feel like I'm not supposed to be in the room, or I'm not supposed to be like looking in on this. Like the last sentence I read before I fell asleep was like, F me, I said. F me with your Triton spear. I am still really enjoying it though. It's really fun to read, but like it's just feeling really cringy for me. So I'm curious to see how I'll feel about the ending. I really can't tell if this relationship that she is having with the merman is supposed to be like a metaphor for something, or if it's just very literal, like a fable or like a mythic tale. I'm not quite sure the intention. So maybe by the ending, I'll be able to like maybe piece together that a little bit more. I'm not sure. I'll see you soon. Okay, friends, this is the rug that I got at Five Below. It is actually really huge. It's huge. So like I said, such a good place to go if you are furnishing a new apartment, or if you want something nice, feet for scale. It is, obviously it definitely needs a little bit of an iron. It's a little wrinkly, but we have these really cool little details on it. I am just super shocked. Amazing. Okay, here is today's fit. This dress was from Five freaking Below. So cute. Paired it with a little white tee. And these earrings were from Five Below as well. These earrings came in a 6-pack for like $3 at Five Below, which is amazing. But yeah, this dress, five buckaroos. Love it. So cute. Even has like a little leg slit. So I'm gonna go run an errand before my physical therapy, and I will check in with you a little bit later. Frick, friends. Frick. Why did this book make me emotional? I really don't think that was this book's intention, to make the reader emotional, but it made me really emotional. Oh my god, I'm ruined a little bit. Safe to say this is 5 out of 5 stars. Ugh, I'm emotional in general today, or the past few days. Like, you know, life is making me emotional right now, but also I am most likely PMSing. And I was listening to sad classical music, the last 80 pages of this, and it just like hit different. Frick, it made me so emotional. And I can't talk about it. I can't talk about why it made me emotional, which really, really sucks. But I guess I can share a little bit more about like kind of just the spectrum of love. Our main character, Lucy, is in a group for like codependency, almost like toxic kind of romances and a little bit of hookup culture, trying to get a sense of like self-validation through other people's like physical affection. And this book just talks about, closer to the end, I feel like the broader spectrum of love and nurturing, being nurtured, but also providing nurture, being a mother in some sense, like kind of having maternal feelings towards another person or an animal. So it just felt profoundly like divine femininity. This just like packed such a punch. And I know the last time I updated you all, I was letting you know that I was finding some of the smut scenes really cringy, but that ended up really not being the point of this book. This book comes across as, you know, on the cover it even reads erotic, funny. It definitely started out that way, and then things just really, really progressed there into that kind of spectrum of love and affection. And it was very profound for me. It was very profound. It hit a spot, but maybe it was just a culmination. It was like a perfect storm of like PMS, sad classical music, already in my feels, and this book. Like, I don't think it would make majority of readers emotional or tear up. I was tearing up a lot. My bottom lip was getting very, very quivery. Like from the beginning to the end, it was just such a full-fleshed experience. It did start out as being really funny and bizarre and quirky, and then it turned into like really erotic and sexy and like over the top raunchy, and then it delved into like self-actualization, self-realization, a lot of introspection, and then throughout it too we have all these comparisons to like Greek mythology as well, which I thought was really, really beautiful because I don't know a whole lot about Greek mythology, but it's always a topic that I've been really interested in. I just love when authors tie in like ancient elements or science or math or time or space or physics, elements like that just are interwoven with the narrative. That's my thing, that's my jam, and this just did everything for me. It ticked every box. There definitely were points, like I mentioned earlier this morning, that I was like, oh, this is just feeling really cringe. Like I thought it would just kind of stay almost like surface level smut, but it just reached in there, got really, really deep and dark and heavy. I think there were a lot of really beautiful visuals in here in terms of Lucy's feelings. She would describe feelings that would linger with her as like a peach pit, or she would talk about making out with the merman as like they're building a sandcastle together. Like there was just all these like little images that I think tied this watery element together so well, and it's just really beautiful. So 5 out of 5, I really loved it. My tattoo is indeed for Pisces. It is like sort of for Pisces. There's a little bit of a longer story for the fish tattoo. But I did get a notification earlier this morning from one of you who asked if I would do a tattoo tour sometime. I would love to do that, but for this one, just because we are talking about Pisces, my Venus is in Pisces. So I'm a very watery lover, very sappy emotional. So I just love that, like, I don't know, I just didn't realize it until I finished the book and I closed it, that I was like, oh shit, I have a Pisces correlation there. Talk about like Aphrodite in this book a lot. Like it's very watery, it's very emotional, it's very sentimental, nostalgic, very emotional. So yeah, I don't know, this just worked for me. I guess that's all I'm trying to say, is like this really, really, really worked for me. I'm so happy I read it. It was the first book that I feel like in a long time that I just like held close to my heart after finishing it, and like just feeling this profound sadness that it's over, but also just this profound gratitude that I read it and that literature like this exists, and that I have the chance in my lifetime to read this one book, because there are so many books in the world. I will never ever be able to read all of them in my lifetime. So the fact that I was able to read this one at this particular moment in my life is just wow. I think we need more gratitude for books like this, but also just like books in general, that we picked them up and we were able to read them, because we will never be able to read all of the books that exist. So I'm getting very deep, very deep, but yeah, 5 stars. I love this. I don't think I would recommend this to everybody though. I think you do have to just be like kind of cautious. I'm not a smut reader, I'm not a romance reader, but this one definitely had a lot of smut, but it's definitely a lot more raunchy than Call Me By Your Name, which I read in last week's vlog. That one felt much more like romantic and passionate. This just felt straight up raunchy and almost like to the point of like vulgar. So yeah, I don't know, if you're interested in this, I would definitely say give it a go, but I wouldn't just like broadly say that I recommend it to you all, if that makes sense. Anyway, friends, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for joining me on the beach and reading a 5-star book. Finally, we did it. Thank you all so much. I really, truly hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I will see you all again very soon for my next video. Stay cozy, my friends. Bye.